building a stronger external border with a new EU force to ensure Europe's security and stability. It's a key solution to the ongoing migrant crisis and terror threats, but it's not without debate over just how far EU intervention can go. Hello and welcome to People First, the EPP Group's monthly program on issues with impact on people like you. Joining us to answer some of your questions is Artis Pabriks. You're a Latvian member of the Committee on Civil Liberties, Justice and Home Affairs here in the European Parliament and a member of the EPP Group. Mr. Pabriks.
Hello.
Yes, hello. Two headlines. One is the European Parliament here has just approved the legislation that will create this European Border Guard and Coast Guard. The other headline, quite sad, is some 700 more migrants have died in the Mediterranean. How crucial is this border guard to solving the migrant crisis?
Well, it's very crucial. We must understand that the creation of this agency on the basis of Frontex will not be a silver bullet to every problem, but at the same time, if we are looking in a broader scale, we can see that the events of the last 3 years proves that sometimes passivity and inactivity in the political circles are actually costing more, including more lives, than maybe activity, sometimes even wrong activity. Now, this vote, I think, is very important because this is a very huge step into the right direction in very short period of time.
And it's also the beginning of these trilogue negotiations too, which you're on the clock with that too, right? By the end of June, you've got to have a final agreement.
Well, we have already a first trilogue meeting tomorrow morning, and I hope that we will proceed also smoothly enough.
Well, before we go to our Vox Pop questions, let's take a closer look at this issue in our report.
The European Border Guard and Coast Guard will be built from the EU's Frontex Border Control Agency and the member states' authorities responsible for border management. It will double the permanent staff, currently with Frontex, to 1,000 by 2020. It will also be able to draw on 1,500 experts within 3 days, a kind of rapid deployment force. The Guard will make systematic identity checks of people entering or leaving the EU, using common databases like the Schengen information system. Border and coastline surveillance will be stepped up, including the use of drones. The Border Guard will also have the right to intervene and deploy teams when the European Commission determines that a member state is either unwilling or unable to handle a sudden inflow of migrants, and when the situation threatens the Schengen Accord on open internal borders. To deal with migrant inflows, the force can also work outside the EU, sending liaison officers for joint operations with third countries. And it will play a stronger role in returning migrants to their home countries if they don't qualify for asylum.
Okay, now, Mr. Pabriks, how quickly can this be put into place? Now, the legislation says that by 2020, the force will be doubled. But we can't wait that long, can we?
No, we cannot and we should not, because we are not building the agency on empty ground. This will be on the basis of Frontex. And I would say that every member state already knows what possibly could be expected once this document is finally approved and accepted. That basically means that this agency, which will be a Frontex Plus, could be already operational in autumn. And in autumn, it already should have much more capabilities than existing Frontex.
Okay, let's go to our viewer questions. Now, the first one is probably one of the most hotly debated aspects of this legislation, which is this right for the EU to intervene. Let's take a look at that.
Hello, my name is Paul van Vliet. I'm from Ghent, Belgium, and I would like to know something more about the European Border Guard and more in respect to sovereignty. How will European countries cope with the fact that they have to give up sovereignty to the European Union in regards to that?
Okay, can you expect that? Yeah, a little bit more.
I can explain, of course, because I think we are building this argument or question, and thank you for the question, on the wrong premise. Joining more actively in this agency is not decreasing sovereignty of the state. I would say it's even increasing. Just like, for instance, once my country, Latvia, joined European Union, some opponents are also telling you, join European Union, sovereignty is decreasing. No, our sovereignty and actually possibility to defend sovereignty increased.
Okay, but this says if a country is unwilling or unable to,
yes,
then they can intervene.
Sure. So basically, we have two possibilities. First, obviously, if the country is incapable to safeguard its sovereignty and borders, it should and could apply to the help for European Union. So we can give assistance. However, if there is such I would say, suicidal leaders in the country who would say we cannot defend our borders, we cannot care of our territory, and we don't want any assistance, then of course this country will face a problem with future of Schengen, where this country is a part of. And then other nations would have to act, and probably there will be possibility to renew the borders, external borders with this country,
right,
because others can not accept that there is only rights and no duties. But this is not a problem for sovereignty.
So it's a question of responsibility as well, then.
It's first of all responsibility for your own people and for other countries with whom you are in a common union.
Okay, and here's a question on just how it's going to function.
My name is Lorna Butterick and I'm from the UK, and I'd like to know, how is it going to work on a basis of personnel and how it's going to be policed?
Okay, so this sort of deals with the British sensibilities, and we've got this vote referendum coming up. Are we going to have a European army here at the borders?
No. First of all, a border in democratic and free countries is not guarded by army. It is guarded by interior ministry, so basically it is a more or less police function. And in concrete case, there is nothing which is enforcing some kind of a breach of sovereignty. The agency will simply be capable to send people to assist already existing border guards of the member country, and of course it's sole responsibility of the member country itself to defend and safeguard and administer its borders. But we can help, and if this help is needed, professionals will be there from every and each other member country. So 1,500 people will be constructed, where each country is basically contributing to this rapid reaction force.
Do you think that force is big enough?
Well, if it will be not big enough, probably member countries will be ready to give more.
Add to, right? Okay. Here's a question related to the migrant crisis from someone from outside the EU.
Hello, my name is Palak. I'm from India, and I wanted to know, how many people for the cross borders do you need for the making decisions for coming over here, and how many people are required for making a big decision, like people coming from India?
Okay, well, somebody from India can't ask for asylum, obviously, but with this border guard, how can the process change?
Well, the process on the border probably can be more smooth if concrete nation state, member state cannot manage its own administrative things as a border. If everything is manageable, if there is not a huge influx of migration or some breach of cross-border crime issues or so, then a country is dealing with this. If there is need of assistance against these people, experts will come with their own technology, with technical equipment, assistance, and simply assist border guards of already existing member state.
And there's been some resistance among party groups about the idea of returning migrants, about deportation. Here's a question on that.
Bonjour, je viens de Bruxelles et donc ma question aujourd'hui c'est de se demander comment est-ce que des êtres humains peuvent finalement réguler le passage d'autres êtres humains, donc finalement égaux vu que de la même espèce, dans un territoire donné. Voilà, c'est ça ma question, un peu philosophique, mais...
Well, I mean, there you've got a bit of a, you got to be pragmatic at the same time, and you want to also be as humane as you can in returning migrants. How do you deal with that? How do you explain that, and how did you work out this consensus among the party groups?
Well, certainly. I would like to refer, first of all, to the speech given by Pope in our parliament a few months ago. And he told that as far as fundamental rights and the human side of political system, Europe is on a very high level here. So now, of course, every and each activity what is taken on the border is first of all according to all the fundamental rights and all the international treaties. But of course there will be more people than only official asylum seekers who can get asylum. There always will be somebody who probably do not qualify for asylum. And in this case, imagine such a small country like Estonia or Malta or somebody else who maybe do not have enough capacity to return those people who do not qualify to the place they were coming from. And here again, if there is a need, then agency can assist with personnel as well as with equipment, including planes.
How quickly can we put this force into action? Will this deal with the migrant crisis, say, by the end of the summer?
I would say autumn. I would say autumn because the budget is increasing immediately. Frontex is already preparing and member countries have people basically available for this rapid reaction force.
Mr. Pabriks, thank you very much. It's going to be a real test to see how the EU deals with the migrant crisis with this new border guard. That's it on People First. Find out more about the activities of the largest political force in Parliament by checking eppgroup.eu. Until next time, thanks for watching.